Hi, before we begin, I just want to give you a little context. What you're about to hear was part of a longer conversation that I had with a couple of friends whom I get together with periodically to just talk about what's new and developing in our mediumship or intuition. When we listened back, there were a few different conversations that were within this bigger one that we wanted to share. So I hope this sparks something for you. Welcome to Mediumship Sparks, a place for people who want to create the spiritual life they actually want to live in. Together, we're going to explore the many ways we're invited into greater awareness, deeper healing, and self-trust. The insights, ideas, experiences shared here are offered to spark curiosity and invite a deeper exploration of what's unfolding within and around you. May these conversations help you discover what feels deeply, quietly true for you. I'm Noelle Dean, intuitive medium and licensed marriage and family therapist. Quick note before we begin, the podcast is for educational purposes only and provides general information. It's not medical or psychological advice and not a substitute for care from a licensed health professional. Now let's dive in. What are we supposed to do today? And I see, I don't know, ask the group. Okay. Maybe somebody else is going to get the nudge. And Nikki, don't assume it's going to be Rose. So ask also, please. I see you're just looking. You're not going in for a moment. See what you get.
It must not be me. Nothing's coming at all. So
Don't
I'm
panic,
s-
Nikki. What came to you?
I'm strangely thinking of two things. Here we go.
Okay.
Parallels. One is orchid and the structure of orchids and how that nestles right into the pelvic girdle. Then it brings me around to the whole sexuality thing of the structure and function of female anatomy. And I don't know why I went there, but
Keep going. Let's see where this goes.
colors were coming.
What color?
Orange. Orange was emanating from the center.
Okay.
And then the orchid was the more purplish violet.
Okay. Keep going. We're not there yet, sister. Keep going. Just let it on. Just try on. There's nothing for you to actually do effort wise. You're just going to be like, oh, what do I notice next? And then just tell us.
Yeah.
That's all. You're just narrating what you're getting. But you're getting stuff. Very exciting.
I just kept seeing these massive works of art about what the energy sense is about all of that, how it's all connected to energy. So I'm trying to figure out what the orchid and the pelvis have to do with the energy center and where that stems from. The word stamen came to mind, but I wasn't a botanist. I was more of a biologist.
So don't try to think your way out of it. Stuff is getting downloaded. Don't let your nice brain get in the way. Somebody said fabulous brain. Don't let your fabulous brain get in the way.
Okay.
How are these things related? And let's see what comes to you about that.
I've always liked orchids as a thing of beauty, and they're very prevalent in Hawaii, which is a happy place for me.
Anything else coming?
Nope.
Okay. Rose, did that bring anything up for you?
the first thing I thought of around orchids was their smell is really strong, beautiful. So I was thinking olfactory. In supporting Nikki with not using her brain, I was just starting to think of something to support my own not thinking thing and what that would be like. I do try to just see it back to theater or something, but see the movie scene. Like I'm just a witness to whatever. So I don't think it through. The thing that will happen is I'll think of something and then my brain will go, you were just watching a movie about that, or you were just talking to somebody about that or whatever. We did a read recently and I was watching a series that had Joe as a character. And then I got Joe and the person was Joe. It was a Joe female. And I was like, but I had to turn it into Joseph because I couldn't let myself just get Joe. It was just too much influence from the series to not question it.
You're bringing up a really good point about how points of reference for us are used in picking stuff up. I woke up with the song Love Me Do in my head. Not a song I would ever put on, care to listen to even very much at all, but it comes in because it's a frame of reference about something, right? Maybe there's a part of the lyric, which it seemed like there was. That is the language that they use. So when you said that, it reminded me of a reading I did. I don't know if we were in the middle of watching the series Schitt's Creek, but I suddenly saw Mutt. Mutt is the grown son of the weird mayor and his wife.
Okay.
And the family that moved to this town, their daughter dated him for a while, and he was a rugged looking young man with a full beard. And one day he shaves off his beard. And the woman that was dating him, a strange character anyway, but was just completely freaked out that he looked so different. There was an image about him she related to more than maybe the person. And that's what came through the reading, that part of it. So you couldn't have put that in words. I still couldn't if I tried right now. Not eloquently or succinctly, but showing that clip was just really helpful. And it really played into the point that was trying to be made. So just saying, maybe don't discount. If you were just watching it before you started the reading and you're like, oh yeah, that was funny, and then it came up, I'd be like, you were thinking about that, but you weren't.
I love that because you did succinctly just describe it. And that was the very thing about it that was highlighted. I was surprised that you asked Nikki, how does this fit together? I don't know if I wasn't ready for that or I don't know, but I was surprised you said that. Not like it's a bad question. How does it fit together? Because you're going to try and piece. And I do ask. I'll ask, is there anything else?
I love that question.
One thing.
Yeah.
Am I moving on to something else? Yeah. What does this mean? What do you want me to see?
Yeah. That would have been a better way to say it. But, and look, I'm finding that a lot of times I'll get a hit about something. This just happened yesterday. I'm meeting with a friend. We meet most Fridays to do mediumship wise. And she's talking about a book that she wrote. And I said, how many pages do you have? I remember she told me weeks ago, her goal was, let's say, I don't know, 180 to 200 pages. But when she's saying pages, I'm hearing her, but I'm seeing 600. And I'm like, and I know she doesn't want to do a book that is that long, but I don't know what to do with the 600. I write it down, I let it go, I leave it alone. And then I'm like, hey, and I bring it up to her because, of course, it was a piece of information. I'm not just going to do nothing with it. I got it for a reason. Then I ask, how does this, and then I just see ISBN number. And I'm like, oh, is she going to self-publish? Is she going to get published? And I got a yes. I don't know that she was going to pursue that, but who knows? But we have to ask. So asking, and I wish I could generate more natural curiosity all the time, that I would ask deeper questions. So that's why I'm trying to be more mindful that we're digging in here. We're excavating stuff. They're giving us these little relics and we're on this dig. And it's like, wait, this is it. Oh, it was the kitchen. It was the kitchen right here. That's what I'm getting, even though I only saw this one thing, kind of thing.
I remember your coaching. It's a nice teaching reminder for me. I was getting an iron. And I don't know why you didn't just work with that. I don't know why that wasn't enough for you at the moment, but you were
damn it,
getting
Noelle.
a hit. No, I
Yeah.
got it. You were getting a hit to ask me to stay longer with that particular item.
Yeah.
And what kind of an iron. And it ended up being a very old timey kind of iron. And it was absolutely spot on to this person's person. I often mention my memory, but that kind of thing or the right kind of thing comes along in my mind and it pops back in and I go, thank you. Like, it's just what I needed to remember. It's not like I don't ever remember anything. And that's how my reads feel. It's like, it's just like a pop in kind of moment that I'm not trying to remember. It just pops in to help me then. And that's how I feel so grateful that really links me to the gratitude for the support.
Totally. Everything you said. And so when a Joe comes up,
Yeah.
I'm getting Joe.
Yeah, totally.
You don't have a reason to question it because that's how I experience it too, is
Yeah.
it pops in and I'm not looking to think about anything.
And maybe I could just ask, do I need to question this? Nope. Okay.
Oh, you could totally do that. That would
I
be
could
really
totally
smart
do that.
to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I don't get the quick answer. That's the ones I trust the most, a quick answer. Or the
Yeah.
end of sometimes, often at the end of a read, time's running out. All that's super accurate right at the end. So that's like a supportive short time.
Love that. I'm so grateful that I continue to be amazed at how it all works. I was doing a reading. I said to the husband in spirit, hey, I don't want to be here forever. Can you help keep this to an hour? I swear 1 hour and 1 minute he was done. Now he was done. We weren't done, but he was done, which was cool. And I looked down, I'm like, dude, thank you.
It really feels like you can ask for anything.
I know.
Anything.
Yeah.
I asked for the smell and I don't always do it. And it was spot on last time. Yeah. Down to the smell being a lotion. It's like, okay.
Wow.
And it's so reinforcing when it does happen so that you go, hell yeah, this is possible.
Absolutely. Right? And I feel like I want to add in, Nikki, I feel like this is mainly for you because Rose has groups where she's practicing this stuff. And I don't believe that you do other than here.
Right.
So I'm going to take what Rose just said and make a suggestion about that. This is for all of us. And I want to remember to do this more too. Let's say you start picking up on something and you could say, oh, an iron. Oh, an old timey one. That's cute. Anyway, I'm going to go make dinner. But you're like, that's weird that I got that iron. I don't know where that came from. Or a song out of nowhere. You know you got something. Maybe you just sit and you just start writing. Iron, old-timey. Seeing a counter, it looks like somebody's grandmother's. I'm seeing the formica, the little specks of gold. Oh, that was my grandmother's countertop. Blah, blah. And you just, until you feel done. You're not thinking. It's coming in, like the stuff you got, Nikki. And I think there's a message in that stuff that you got for you. And that's why I was kind of hoping, let's sit with all those things and where do you go from there? But
Right.
maybe this is just something you can do on your own. Okay, was it meant to bring me back to Hawaii? If that was the question that you're left with, right? And right until you can say, is there anything else? And you don't get anything else. I love that question. And that's what I try to do in mediumship sessions is anything else about that? Great, thank you. And then we move on to the next.
Can I add?
Please.
This is a great practice. I love it. And life doesn't always give you the opportunity to sit down and write. So right now, we could go back to what came up for you, Nikki, just like life gets in the way and you're not able to do whatever, and see what comes now and see if we can go forward. I was going to say get back there, but go forward from there, connect to it. The other thing that comes to mind about our topic is the training of intuitive counseling, where you have a foundational belief to really not disregard anything. So you might be in counseling mode with someone, and if their pink shirt keeps grabbing your attention, there's a reason it's grabbing your attention. And you ask, why did you choose that today? And it leads to whatever. It's a really great practice to just
Go with it.
go with it and give it credence.
Okay.
Not disregard, but it keeps coming up. So why? There's something to seek out about it.
And I like the way you said it. It captures your attention. Anything that you're feeling aware of, oh, let me go a little deeper. And my favorite example is this sort of Western cowboy belt buckle that I got in reading or practice or something. And I was like, oh, belt buckle. And then I just was like, I was so drawn to the belt buckle. I see a whole being, but just all I can see is the belt buckle. And I'm like, all right, let me kind of like as if I could zoom in and see it clearer and clearer and the stones on it. And was there a drawing? And now I'm seeing a bucking bronco with a man on it. And I'm getting the word rhinestone. You go towards it. I remember the iron, actually. Is that how it works for you now, Rose? That same kind of way?
Yes, this is what I'm saying. What will happen is I'll be in a practice and I won't always stick with something, but it'll pop into my head like a memory of that teaching. Stick with it now. It's informing the session. I'm struck to ask this question to the two of you. So you know that thing that happens, I'm going to say it like we all agree, but I want to know how it goes for you. This is where I'm reading this. You're trying to think of something, can't remember it. Work hard to remember it for the moment. It doesn't come in. You let it go, and then it pops in some other moment. You're about to go to sleep and it pops in, or somebody says something. This is another synchronicity thing. Somebody says something, it's like, bam, got it. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because I'm realizing in sessions, it's like that. It's just like the thing that pops, it pops in. And when it pops in, I really trust it much more so than I'm tracking it down, sticking with it, even asking the questions. But when I ask a question, it pops right in. That's a very strong sign for me that it's not me thinking it through. It's a response to my question. How does remembering something later occur to you? Does pop in? Is that a fit?
Yeah, it's like a knowing that comes back, and it's not gradual.
It's not great.
You know what? That is such a smart way to say it, because when we're trying to figure something out, this is how I try to remember it and how it feels. When we're trying to figure something out, it's like, iron. Let me think. I bet grandma had that iron. I remember when I was a kid, we used one of those little irons as a doorstop. You're following the path, right? But you're right. It's sudden when it comes in. That's part of how Love Me Do, sudden. I woke up, I was just going to say, what song? Because I wake up with a song pretty much every morning. But now I'm trying to remember it's almost like I'm looking, what's the song? And then there it starts playing. It's sudden, not gradual.
Yeah.
That's a good way to have a reality check for yourself. Was I just thinking about Schitt's Creek? Was I just thinking about Joe from this show I'm watching? No, but then there are times when it seems like you're thinking about something and then it becomes part of this. I was just thinking about this, but it won't go away now that we're in this space. And when we're in this space of doing mediumship as a group or doing a reading, sometimes it's part of that too. So it still feels sudden and not gradual, but you could be like, I was just thinking about this though.
So let me ask you this, because you mentioned this earlier and it popped into my head too, because I was watching a movie right before I came on this call. And you said not something you just watch, it's something from, but what's the difference? Because when you were getting up to do dancing, I was seeing Goldie Hawn doing the 80s style Zumba class. And it's like, okay, I think that was just because I just watched that.
Just this morning, I was scrolling and I saw a video of a person trying out on America's Got Talent singing Dancing Queen, but a very different way to a guitar.
Yep,
So when it
yep.
came in, I was like,
I've seen that episode.
yeah, great. So I get Queen and then I hear Dancing Queen and I'm seeing you dance. And I'm just like, wait. And I could have said, I just saw that half an hour ago. That's me. But I wasn't thinking about that video. Could be like, sorry, how I should have said it when I was saying if Rose was just thinking about that show, like maybe I could have just been sitting here thinking, God, that woman's voice was so distinctive.
Yeah.
And then something comes up about Queen and I'm like, oh, Dancing Queen. Then I would be like, that's gradual. That's actually maybe kind of the question. Was that gradual or was that sudden? But it could also be, I did watch that half an hour ago, totally got it off my mind. And now it bounced right back so clearly.
Yeah.
I got another take on that.
Please.
So, you know how Amy brings to us lots of physical things like pennies and our butterflies are they don't attack us, but
they're aggressive.
They're fairly aggressive in a very nice way. But sometimes synchronicity feels like it is a pre to the thing.
Yeah.
So I would say, wow, Dancing Queen came on my feed of life. And then Dancing Queen is what they wanted to support the read with.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what I want to say.
Totally get that. I am having this experience of synchronicities in that kind of way, but very close together more and more, especially in the last several weeks. So just last night, I'd been thinking to ask ChatGPT, can you help me understand the difference between an analogy and a metaphor? Because I never know what the right word is. I'm like, or is it a metaphor? Or is it an analogy? And I go back and forth. So I finally ask, and he describes it. And I'm like, oh, that's so clear. And then that night, I'm doing 2 different crossword puzzles. One had the word metaphor and the other had the word analogy. That kind of thing happens a lot. It reminds me of what you're saying, Rose, how I'm taking it. The thing about the synchronicity is you're on the right channel.
See, I give this whole umbrella to this, which is what captures my attention is the thing. That's it. I used to probably always think of it as this leads to this. But now I think it could be on any direction of the time. It could be before, it could be after, but it's what the most important thing is, did it capture my attention?
It seems so clear sometimes that we're always, not every moment of the day, but so often being communicated with. It's astounding.
We're never alone thing.
Yeah.
We aren't alone.
Thank you so much for being with us today. If you'd like support as you continue your own exploring, you can find information about my classes, readings, and other offerings at connectingwithnoelle.com. If today's conversation made you think of someone, I'd love it if you would share this with them. Take good care, and I look forward to being with you again soon.